The engine is starting up.
For launch. GC. Go. Guidance. Go. Fido. Go. Prop. Go. GNC. Go. Max. Go. Eagle. Go. Ecom.
Go pending final steps to cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Riftnationnetwork, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Well, hello, all my creepy little weirdos. Thank you again to another episode of Horror History and Hauntings podcast. Yay! Usually I am your tour guide through the realms of the paranormal, the paranormal, the supernatural, and the just plain weird. Here on the podcast, we do things a little different, which means we still tell a story, but we let you tell your story by you. And tonight we have a wonderful couple. They come halfway across the country from out in the desert, and they are the brains behind the Travelin Foulks on YouTube. They travel the country. They go to as many conventions as possible, showing people their YouTube channel. in what goes on behind the scenes at conventions. They also are both artists. Jenn does a lot of soaps and different things like that. Plus, she is a published author, and we'll be talking about a couple of books tonight. And her husband is a wonderful artist. He does sketch art and very detailed pieces of art. So let's get them on today and welcome the Travelin Foulks.
Hey.
Hi, Nick and Jenn. Yeah, before we got started, we were talking a little bit like we talked online, but we haven't ever got to talk in person. So it's nice to meet you formally in person.
Meet you finally.
Yeah, I've been around, doing some things, meeting some people, talking to some people, but yeah, I'm here, there, everywhere. It seems like recently. So Jenn, you're a published author.
Yes.
What is your latest novel that just came out? Because I know you were telling me about it.
Yeah, this one is The Six Souls. It's it's the very first one in my new Detective James Brown series. It is a paranormal detective thriller, and it's based here in Arizona,
nice.
where we live. It's based a little further away, but this series is going to be compiled of a bunch of different books. All of them are standalones. So you can pick this
Gotcha.
up, read it at whenever spot. It doesn't have to be read in sequence. So any book that you pick up in the series is going to have a start, have a finish, and they're easy reads. They're not massive books that are going to take you, it's not it. It's not,
Right. It's not a brick book, I was looking
no.
for one, but of course I can't, when
Yeah,
you need it,
no.
you can't find one.
It's a lot of people have told me it 4.5 hours, 5 max, start to finish.
Coming from
Oh,
me as
yeah, so
a
that's
reader, I like the flow of it. It's written as a screenwriter would write it. It flows very well. It makes you want to finish it, knowing that it's not
nice.
that hard to finish it. Do you know what I mean? I'm more of a
Yeah.
visual, but yeah, it definitely got me with the wave of it.
Yeah, talking in the groups and stuff about that book specifically, that's the vibe that I got, that everyone that's read it has talked about how it's a quick read. You
Yeah.
sit down, you want to finish it,
Yep.
soon, when you get into the story, you really want to finish it till the end and then, move on to the next one. And it's great
Yeah.
because you can pick up any, book in the series and
Yes.
enjoy it just the same. So,
And the next
yeah,
one,
definitely one.
the next one is releasing Monday, Day of the Gin.
Okay.
So
Day of the
that
Gin.
yep, that is the next one that is releasing. It is releasing Monday, and I'm currently working on the third one. So it's just
Busy.
go, 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 go.
Yeah, I get that because like I've been working on my first work of fiction, and it has
Yeah.
took me forever. But I a lot of my writer friends have told me like it gets smoother with time, and you just learn
does.
like a flow to get into. And
Yeah.
I always like to talk to all my authors about like tips and tricks that you would give like a new author.
Any
Just-
kind of art.
Just
Once
get
you-
it down.
Yep, any kind of art. Once you get in that flow state, it just
It just
comes
happens.
out of you.
And that's the same with his pictures, his scratchboard art.
If I'm in the zone,
Yeah,
I
it
can
just
knock them out. If
it
I'm
just
not in the
happens.
zone, I'm kind of like,
it-
but yes.
yeah.
Now with your art, do you do that all free-handed or
Always off of
like?
reference for the most part, but yeah, I mean, it's all put on there by no prints. I make all of them. It was something I grew up doing in high school. I got introduced to it, but the thing about scratch boards was when I was in high school, it wasn't. You couldn't. What do you want to say? Put them into art shows because for some reason it wasn't a medium that they liked, and so I still always kept attached to it, even though it was something that didn't get recognized like I always felt it should have. And actually, I do have a picture, which was one of the first ones that I did when I was growing up. I'll show it to you now.
Okay.
I did this one in high school. see if you can see that without a glare. It's the La Pieta from Michelangelo.
Here, hold on.
But
I'll step
that's
back for a
basically
second.
where it all came from, the concept. And then I used to do it as gifts for friends and like weddings and things like that and stuff. And then going to conventions with her selling her book, I was looking around at what I thought real art was at conventions instead of people just selling Funko Pops and things like that.
Prince.
And I was like, honey, I have an idea. I used to do this when I was young. And she, thank God I love my wife. She was like, hey, let's go.
Let's get it done.
Yep.
No, he had a great idea at my first convention. It was I should have gone to a book convention first, but I went to a horror convention.
She did.
And I had 3
That was my first convention, main con.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I had 3 of my zombie series out. I waited until I wrote 3 books, had those out, and I also make I didn't make the soaps yet, but I did make the balms. Like I make my own chapsticks, and I have little balms or other tins
Or bath
of
bombs?
balms for like no balms, like pain balms
like
and
Tattoo
like
healing
stabs.
balms. Yeah.
Like stabs that you rub on your skin and
Oh,
it helps
gotcha.
make you feel better. Yeah, so I have this pain one that everybody loves, and I make so much of that. But I had a couple of those. I had some massage oils and cuticle oils and stuff like that. And I actually did pretty well where I made my table back. So when he was there with me, he's like, the only person that looks like I might be rivaled would be a guy up the aisle who did like pen and paper sketching, and he had
Oh, wow.
his pen and paper drawings in frames, and he's like, hey, I should try scratch boards. And I'm like, yes, you should. And it has been the smartest decision that he has ever made, besides marrying me, of course. The smartest decision that he has ever made for something to do. It's something that he loves. It's something that he really does well, and he grasps the concept of actually creating the art and what people want. So he gets it. And so like we go to all the horror conventions. We recently tried a marketplace at the mall, and that did not work out for us very well. So we know that's not a medium that we want to continue. But
Pursue.
There's other.
But you never know.
Right, we didn't know, so we wanted to try it, and I was like, yeah, let's just spend the money just to try it. We left a day and a half early. Not gonna lie, it was that bad for us.
Slow.
And we were just, it was slow, it was boring, and like we had all the weirdos, and you have weirdos at every convention, but
we love weird.
And we do. We love weird. We love weirdos. We had some of the wrong kind of weirdos that stood there and talked and talked and talked, and they had no intention of buying anything, but they just needed a friend. And we don't, not to be rude, we don't really have time for that, but we were polite, and we were like,
right.
"Hey, man, well, thank you so much." A lot of lonely people out here in Tucson.
In the world.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, in the world in general. But
Yeah.
that's the thing with conventions and festivals and stuff like that. It's almost like rolling a die, because you never know. One convention you might, sell really well a specific type of thing, but you could go to the same type of convention and nothing sell. It really depends.
And that's something that we've definitely learned. Like I can be in a horror convention and Kurt Cobain picture sells, or I can be at a time travelers convention and a Dungeons
Saints.
and Dragons picture will sell. You never know.
Yeah.
That person shows up, and people know what they like. So I make sure to have. I have everything from, I like to say, Rocky Horror Picture Show to Rocky Balboa. I have
you have all the Rockies.
all of it. I got all of it.
Any Rocky you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Rocky
you do not have
Horror.
is Rocky and Bullwinkle.
I do not.
So maybe mine.
True. But like, what is for both of you? It's an open-ended question. What is your process? How do you get into the zone vibe? Is there specific things you do before you write, or do your scratch boards that kind of sets the mood?
I used to need snackies when,
Like movie theater snacks.
yeah, like
Mints
and
and things like that.
yeah, but I realized that was not helping me lose any weight, so I quit that. Now I write at work. When
She does a lot of her writing at work on third shift.
I have a great job where I
Oh.
work third shift, where I can actually take my tablet in and get some writing done, because we're not terribly busy on third shift. I have a couple of hours where I can get a couple of 1,500 words in, which works out well. I'm able to pump out some books. Some days I get 5,000 words done. It's just a really
Oh,
good
wow.
day. A lot of times,
Yeah, and you're just
yeah, my process though while I'm at work is I'll put on, depending on what type of book I'm writing. So like I had when I was writing Day of the Jenn, I was listening to a lot of paranormal. I watch a lot of paranormal movies, especially around it was Halloween.
She watches all of them from the A-rated to the F-rated.
Yeah,
And
some of the best to the lowest of
you
them on the
see
totem
what's
pole.
been watched, and you're like, you watched that? And
You're
she's like, yeah.
That's about a tire.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, a supernatural tire. So I'll sit there and I'll watch a lot of paranormal, because these books are paranormal in nature. There's always a supernatural being, entity, or something behind it. And eventually I will be getting into cryptids as well. But I'm also mixing real life detective.
Uh-oh. They dropped. Hold on. Let me get it back. Come back.
I have no idea what happened.
I don't know either, but you're back. So that's all good.
Well, the books also, it was nice and quick turnaround too. The books also have like a real life detective aspect to it. And the guy who I based these books off of is an actual real life Detective James Brown, who lives here in the area. And his wife is a really good friend of mine. He's a really good friend of mine. Him and I talk, and I make sure that my procedures work. I don't get too specific, but I also don't get so basic that you don't understand. I'm not doing too much where I'm making it too difficult to understand, or I'm not giving away trade secrets, and I'm also not doing it to where people are like, that wouldn't happen,
Right.
So
It's too vague to be believable.
Right, exactly. And which does happen. But I do have some things that, because I worked in law enforcement for about 7 years. It's actually, we met in jail.
On the good side of the bars, not the bad side.
Okay. That's good to clarify. Yeah.
We're both correct.
Yeah, I did security. Yeah. I never did corrections. I was a private security. But I did have my armed guard and my arrest authority.
Yeah. That's
So,
what I do now.
yeah, I can relate to that.
I'm an armed security guard, and I do a little bit more than that. I don't really want to get into it because of today's climate, but I am in armed security. But it's so, it's so laid back compared to where we came from. But
I imagine if you went from corrections to private night security, that would be a hell of a change.
yeah, yeah, it is. So like really the only thing that I do regularly is Supernatural, the TV show. Definitely my go-to. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I am a
that's my
Sam
favorite
Dean
show ever.
all the way. Yes. I'm on probably my 23rd time of rewatching it.
In the 10 years, we've been doing, yes, at least minimum.
It's a comfort show. Don't judge.
It is. I agree.
And I could fall asleep and know I didn't miss anything because I've already seen
Right.
Well, and then for my process, for the most part, is I watch a lot of baseball. So during the baseball season, it's a slow sport. I get a lot done. And so instead of my wife going, "What are you doing watching all these games?" I go, "I'm working." But then football season, hockey season, I kind of shut it down a little bit because I got to pay a little more attention. But yeah, during baseball,
Well, that's what I always tell my boyfriend. I'm like, football season, football is his mistress, because during football season, no matter what I do, and that could be standing in front of him and then flash him, he'd be like, "All right, hon, like I'm down for it, but give me until halftime, and I'll be ready to go." Like, it's like, really.
100%.
Okay. Renee just sent us a a chat. Her husband Jim worked at Pinkerton, and so did my dad. And I wanted to bring that up because my dad worked for Pinkerton too when I was growing up.
When I was first got my very first security job, it was with Pinkerton in Toledo, Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah, Dad worked for Pinkerton in Chicago, and then he transferred to the mines, and then later on he did retire from the mines. So he actually had a Pinkerton pension, which I don't even know if they do that kind of thing anymore. But
I don't even know. Does Pinkerton still exist?
I don't believe so, because I think originally it was Pinkerton, and then it went to Wackenhut, and then Wackenhut got bought out by something else, or maybe it was Wackenhut first and then Pinkerton. I never remember.
We used to be Wackenhut, probably G4S.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's who I'm.
So yeah, that's probably how it went. And I worked different security companies. I worked from the Haynes Agency in Virginia for a while. I worked for Securitas. I think everybody that's ever done security has worked for Securitas at some point.
I missed that boat.
And I did. I was assistant director at Apple Blossom Mall here in Virginia too for a while. Okay. And a lot of my more interesting paranormal encounters happened whenever I was doing night security.
Yes.
But
night security is a different animal, because you're supposed to be big and tough, but then shit's happening. Oops, sorry. Stuff's happening.
You're fine.
And you're like, I can't. I'm supposed to be the calm and level-headed person, but I want to scream right now.
I cannot.
That was
freak
weird.
out.
Well, and then
that was weird.
I'm the dummy who's got the spirit box stuff on the phone. So all the guys are coming to me like, "Hey, Jen, let's check out the spirit box." And I'm like, "Okay."
Well, see, I thought about it. I did, because like I had some really interesting encounters, because I did night security for it used to be a tobacco plantation in Virginia. And they turned it into this big, beautiful conference center. And it was for a company. It was called Project Hope. They did the big ships that went overseas with the big Red Cross on it, and did like surgeries and stuff for cleft palates and STD type stuff with doctors and things. So I did that for a couple of years night, and then I took over housekeeping supervisor for another year before the recession hit. Don't know why I felt the need to accept, but I've had a lot of weird experiences at that plantation, and it was interesting to. I haven't forgot you, Renee. I'm going to get you here in a second. She's posting, so I want to make sure I get to Renee.
I see.
But
I totally agree with the zombie.
We'll get back to that. But I said, and I interacted with some of the local law enforcement because it was such a big property.
Yeah.
And it had, all the bells and whistles, the motion sensors, all that stuff. So there would be times things would happen.
Yes.
Alarms are going off. Nobody's in the building.
You're like, I don't know.
There's people in the building, but they're not alive people, put it that way, and they're doing things. But let's get to Renee's comment here. She said, my getaway is hard rock music of things like Rob Zombie. Rock on, Renee. Yeah. Can't go wrong with some Rob Zombie.
When I don't have sports on, I'm listening to either Deftones or some Rob Zombie or some kind of rock, and I'm getting in the zone to.
It's so funny.
That's me.
I come in,
like,
yes. if I come in the house or I come downstairs after getting ready and he's got this cool little desk thing that he does the scratch boards at. He'll be sitting there, all of a sudden he'll go, and I'm just like, hey, get it, honey.
The Rift it. No, like my thing, like I literally look up like Dean drive along playlist or like Wayward Brothers playlist or something like that because I like that old rock.
The 80s
and
rock. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've told my family, I'm like, if you do not play Wayward Son at my funeral, I am coming back I'm haunting you. Yep. And Renee said, yes, they do. I think it was when we were talking about stuff happening at night with the night guards.
Yeah.
Jim, her husband, was in Indy in the early 90s, and my dad was at a haunted factory in the 80s. Oh, that's really cool.
Stories.
Right. Like, getting back to the plantation, I could tell you some stuff, like, because working night shift, because of the high profile with Project Hope, and they would do conferences there with like ExxonMobil, the execs and things. They had the Princess of Georgia there one time.
Oh, wow.
Some of the political diplomats would come.
Right.
And you would see them roll in with and my job was to show them to their room and make sure they were comfortable if they arrived at night. So they would come in these limos, and there would be times like in the middle of the night, they're like, I can't stay in this room. You've got to put me anywhere, but I'm not staying in there. And most of the time I could predict it because it depended on the room that they were put in. And it also depended on certain personality traits.
Yes.
I should say.
Yes.
So there were times I get that call at 2:00. You got to move me somewhere else. And of course, like then I'm talking to housekeeping in the morning. Well, I had to move, Mr.
So-and-so.
I don't know, Smith, out of Carter Hall into the what did we call it? The stable house. And, yeah, that happened quite often. We had a couple law enforcement too. It got into a habit.
Yeah.
That we'd have a motion light. They have to come, and then they have to walk through the building because that property wouldn't let us carry. So they would have to walk through, make sure it was cleared, and then there's been times we've been sitting there talking about like instances that have happened in that building because one of the chief ones that the motion sensor would go off in is what they call the outdoor kitchen, which is where back in the day the slaves would cook the meals, and then they had an area above and then they had like stores underneath for like food and stuff like that to cook, and then above is where they slept. Well, they changed that into like basically an entire house with a couple bedrooms upstairs.
Right.
But they left the old kitchen stove and which was like an open fireplace type thing, and with like a slide-in oven thing with the door on it. It was really, really old. But that one always triggered because they had, and mind you, these are twist knob lights. It's not an electrical switch.
Super old.
Where like, a mouse running up the wall could hit it and knock it up or whatever. These were you twist, click, click, to turn it on, and click, click to turn them off. And I'd walk that building because most of the time I carried around a flashlight because there for a while I thought I was going crazy because I was going in buildings and swearing to God. I'm like, I have turned every light off.
Yep.
Why is this light on? And I go to patrol in the patrol vehicle. So I started just carrying this big mag light with me and then going through the buildings because then I know I didn't turn the light off and forget to turn it back off. Or light on, and you get what I'm saying.
Vice versa. Yeah.
But in that specific, that happened quite a bit. And I was standing there with a county guy because the same thing happened. And I'm like, well, I came and I know the light was off and now the light's on. So let's just walk through. And he's like, I got you. So we walk through and we're standing there. He's like, yeah, we get these calls a couple times a month. I said, I know. I've been here for quite a while. He goes, I don't know how you're here by yourself all night. I'm like, I like it. It's peaceful.
Right.
Everything pretty well leaves me alone except for the snakes. I didn't like the snakes, but that's me. That's not them. It's my issue, not theirs. And basically, like, we were sitting there talking about it, and that light came on in the living room, and the alarm went off.
Wow.
We knew we're standing in front of the building. We can see the front entranceway and the side entranceway. The only other door that we cannot physically see is the basement stairs that was behind the building. And we're like, well, you want to go through again or not? And then so we went through again and turned it all off. And then he's like, I'm going to get out of here before we end up having to do this a third time.
Yeah.
But there were some that were scared to come.
That's crazy. At law enforcement, it's not, you're supposed to be tough and everything like that, but they're still human. It's 100%, one of those things where, they're going to be scared. I had an experience in a house. We come from a city, Toledo, Ohio, that, first of all, it's crappy now, but it wasn't. There's a lot of history there. Part of the Underground Railroad. We have a river that runs through there to go out to Lake Erie. We have we have an airport. We have trains stations that still work. We have some of our houses are so old they still have the carriage, like the stables and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So our area is very old, very haunted, and in a house that I used to live in, I had the worst experience. I felt like somebody was trying to suffocate me while I was sleeping. Like I had pushed against something and went, no, and there was something there, and I was living. It was just me and my kids at that time.
Oh wow!
Yes, Klinger on Mash was from Toledo,
Jamie
Ohio.
Farr,
Jamie Farr.
Yep.
So is what's her
Katie
name?
Holmes.
Yeah, but the other one, Adrian Pilecki.
Yep.
We know
Pilecki.
her uncle very well.
Yeah,
Jessica
Renee also
from-
said her dad
Jessica from
is
season
in
one.
was in Mobile, Alabama. Mobile, Alabama. My mouth doesn't want to work today for some reason. And was in a paint factory. And during his orientation, the owner told him that if it goes to open the door to the area where the paint went into the filled buckets, sometimes the full buckets would just fly across the area he was in.
I gotta get
He was
paid.
told to open the door, and that if the buckets are flying, to quickly shut it. That's crazy. Well,
Yeah,
I had a similar, like, whenever I started working at Carter Hall, like my first night, they were like, "Are you scared of like being in buildings by yourself in the dark?" I said, "Well, I wouldn't be in security if I was."
Right.
And they're like, "Well, this one's a little different." And it's like, "You might see some weird stuff. Can you handle that?" And I was like, "Can I handle it?" I was looking forward to it, but I never had the guts like you did about doing the EVP, or not EVP. Yeah,
The
EVP.
spirit
What am I
box.
saying?
Yeah,
The spirit box or
I
the
used to
digital
do-
recorder.
I used to do ghost hunting.
Yep.
I do now.
I used to. I haven't done it since I moved out to Arizona, but it's honestly because I don't have time.
You did
Because
go to that one hotel out here.
I did. Yeah, I did my own investigation in Jerome, and in the Hotel Congress where Dillinger got killed. So, but I haven't been part of a group because I really honestly do not have time. I'm a full-time evening guard. I am a full-time during the day process server. Then I sleep and do it all over again, and I'm writing books and I'm narrating and I do 8 million things. And thankfully he does scratch boards because I don't have to entertain him.
But then she's also my manager, accountant, my boss,
Yeah.
my secretary,
Yes.
my nutritionist.
She takes all
Yeah.
Yes.
everything off. It's a good pairing then, it sounds like.
For
Yeah.
him.
Right. She does it all and you just stay quiet and do your
But he does
scratch
he
boards.
does
Just
good.
do your scratch boards.
That's enough for me. I'm good. That is perfectly
We're
okay.
simple.
Yeah, I like helping people, so that's why I got into the paranormal, because I was having people come to me and they're like, "Oh, you know the spooky stuff. Can you tell me, like, I'm having this go on, you know? What do I do? Who do I contact?" And usually that's how I kind of got into it in a way. Like, I did a couple stuff for people, and then people started to contact me other ways and like, "Hey," and I would hook them up with different groups
Now,
or whatever.
do you
And then I
clear?
started doing it privately
Do you
myself.
also clear
Huh?
houses and or clear spaces?
If the person wants me to, for one. Two, it also depends on what would make them feel the most comfortable. Sometimes, depending on the situation, it's a matter of giving somebody the confidence to stand up for themselves, and basically clearing out a space themselves gives
Yeah.
them that in return, that control.
All right.
For me, it depends on the situation. I'm not
Yeah.
going to say I don't, but I am not atypical religious. I'm more, I guess I would consider myself agnostic, if I'm anything. I
Okay.
was pagan for like 16 years, but I
Yeah.
had
That's what I
tragic
am.
death and I just stopped believing in everything.
Right.
So that's where I kind of lay in the agnostic, because I'm just like, I don't know, I want to believe there's something, and I'll talk to the universe sometimes, and sometimes things happen, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm not
No.
super. And some people that are very religious, they wouldn't want somebody like me who is not very religious to clear their home. I don't think that would give
Right.
them the
They probably
security.
wouldn't. Right. They probably wouldn't trust it. I get it.
Exactly. So, you know, and a lot of that is like kinks in the armor, or not kinks, cracks in the armor. And you want to make sure, like, the person that is dealing with it, if you can secure them as much as you can, you know, metaphysically, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And try to give the power back to them.
Yes.
So they can.
Well, ultimately,
themselves,
they
'cause-
do need to be in charge of all of that in the first place, because I
Exactly.
can come in and I can do stuff, but then when the homeowner's energy comes back into play, you kind of still have to deal with it, because that's what invited these things in the first place. Or it might be
Right.
an ancestor of theirs that they're not aware of. And that ultimately they're the ones that have to sit there. A lot of times all it takes is, "Hey, I'm busy, leave me alone," and that's it.
You know, so it depends on the case. Like, sometimes it's just a matter of fear, and sometimes it's just something that
Right.
doesn't mean to be scary. They just don't
Right.
know how to get their attention any other way.
Yes, exactly.
So, you know, using practical techniques, then you can kind of. And sometimes people have a habit of spooking themselves. Like, you're preconditioned. If you think the place is haunted, every creak, grind,
Yes.
skitter, patter, drop, you know, is paranormal, and then that just kind of feeds it and makes it worse.
And a lot of it's
So-
really not.
So sometimes just going in and being like, "Oh, it's that cold breeze that you're feeling. It's this
Yeah.
window that's got a severe leak
draft."
that I can show you. Like, there's a draft coming through there." Or sometimes, like, you have the cases with the doors. You know,
Yeah.
you shut one door real hard, another one will shut just
Another
because
one's
it
gonna open.
vacuums.
Yes.
Or yeah,
Yes. My husband actually has some abilities that he just doesn't want to delve into, and I've
It's
been
scary.
working on him.
Well, I come from two of the strongest Roma gypsy bloodlines. I know I look the way I look, but that's because my dad's a ginger. Different line. But yeah, so I get very, like you said, I spook myself
Yeah.
instead of accepting, which she tries to help me with that, but at the same time,
He just doesn't want it, and that's
Ugh.
fine. And if I had just 25% of the ability that he has, I'd be using it, but I
Well,
really
it's
believe he's very powerful.
right. Like, I had, not this last week, I wasn't able to broadcast, but the week before, I had April on April Bussett. She's the New Jersey housewife medium, and she was talking about something very similar because it's like it's kind of tuned in a radio or turning on a radio. If you don't know what you're doing, you're just opening a frequency, and you don't have a
Yes.
control of what can come through there.
And
Some of it
anything
could
can
be
come
good.
through.
And what's funny
Exactly.
is that
So
you just put it in those exact terms because I do hear it as not old. I've said it before to her. It comes through to me as old timey radio, and it creeps me.
do you
out.
ever get it like you'll hear like voices like it's coming through a radio, but as soon as you hear that,
There's
it's like
700 of them
it's
talking
turned
at the
down.
same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
And it's
then-
like
then
all of a
another
sudden
one
when you
gets
try to
turned up.
concentrate it shuts off and you can't hear
To a
it.
point,
It's like
yes.
at least that's with
Yes.
me. Like
I-
for
yep.
me it's like the more I try to concentrate on it, the more I can't hear it or understand it, and
over
it's
the
when I'm
years,
not
since-
paying attention.
And since hearing that since I was a child, it got to a point where I went, just turn it off, because I can't. Every time I try to pay attention to one, that one gets turned down, another one gets turned up, and then I go, I can't help any of you. I don't know what's happening here. And then, like you said, I spook myself out, and then I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
I'm done.
And I
Well, that
tried
was
to,
part of
I
Go ahead.
tried to tell him, well, let's work on it, and he's like, no,
Nope.
I
It's been
just,
going
I
on
don't
since
want
I was a
it.
kid.
I don't want it.
I've heard them too long.
I get that. Trust me, I get that because that's part of the reason I think I stopped practicing Wicca, because that was about the time I was seeing a lot of stuff, and I didn't know how to control anything, and a lot of stuff was happening, and then my husband unfortunately passed away at the same time, and I'm just like, look, I can't,
Yeah.
I can't deal with everything you're throwing at me, and then on top of it, you take the most important person away in my life. I couldn't figure that out.
I
Like
get it.
how, so I just like none of it,
Yep.
no more.
Yep.
And just recently, I've dipped my toes back into listening a little more,
Yeah.
and like verbalizing to people what I'm sensing or what I'm feeling. And I freaked myself out
I
on a
bet.
couple occasions. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah.
Well, and for me,
but I'm untrained.
yeah, and for me now that I'm comfortable because I'm older, it's when we go to conventions that are out of town that I'll be in a hotel and I'm not in my comfort zone, and then that's when I can hear it again. When I'm in my own bed, I've figured out how to lock it out. But when we're away,
That's
I'll wake up
interesting.
in the morning and I'll go, honey, it was all night long. And I'm like, you didn't hear them talking on? And she's like, hear what? I'm like, that old
I
timey
sleep like
radio.
the dead.
Yeah, she does. She does.
I sleep like the dead. But I think
You
we've
know,
also set boundaries.
I've talked
at home.
to, yeah, I've also talked to a lot of psychics, and I think that's a common occurrence. I'm a light sleeper, and I think a lot of people that do have those type of abilities, for some reason, we are very like hyper aware or hyper vigilant, especially when we're sleeping. And it's weird because my boyfriend, he sleeps like the dead. The only thing that wakes him up is if I mention food. I said, honey, I'm like, it's going to sound like we are a bunch of cannibal psychos because I can't just yell your name. I got to yell, dinner's here. If somebody breaks in the house. Can you imagine breaking in the house and the woman's like, supper's done, dinner's here, to get somebody's attention. But hey, whatever works.
Well,
We had
see Renee. Yeah, Renee
Yeah.
commented a question.
Yeah, I'm sure the places you all have been have had residual haunts. Do you think that the people who are alive can be in a residual haunt from a time where they were younger?
I think what you're kind of talking about is some kind of trauma, like a separation, a break in the psyche of when
Oh, do you think
may have-
people that were alive could be?
where something may have happened and things come back at you
Mm-hmm.
when you're older. But I've never heard it put like that. A residual haunt. A residual
From the
haunt
time
is
when they were younger.
usually something that where somebody's living a loop. They're the dead person is
Mm-hmm.
stuck in a loop and they're
Exactly.
reliving a certain point in their life that was pivotal. And usually it has to do with their death. Because there's not a death in this and the person is alive, I think the the trauma of the event, the emotional trauma of the event is going to create a break and cause like a poltergeist. That's what I think. I am
Well,
nobody
I
though.
think that's an interesting question because it's like it would be interesting to see because let's say that your most traumatic point in your life, and this is a house that you've grew up, but the most
Hmm.
traumatic event happened when you were a child. Something happened to you, whatever. So there's going to be a break, I think, in your psyche a little bit about that trauma. So if you died in a peaceful manner, but you still had that unresolved trauma and that trauma surrounded your life or shadowed your life, I think possibly it could come back as a residual
But I
because,
think
it
what
would be
she's
so
talking
strong.
about is that the person who is still alive is still experiencing that issue that happened, that trauma that happened when they were younger. And then she
Possibly.
said
I
like
think
a home's memory, like are you saying like maybe the energy is like saturated in the home? If that is what you're saying, I 100% yes believe that.
I'm going to take this off so I can read like a home. Well, with the icon, I don't really see very well.
Yeah, yeah.
But like a home's memory. Well, that's very interesting too, because I've heard of people in the cases with limestone, because
Hmm.
limestone stones have a lot of quartz and people, if you dealt with the metaphysical or with Wicca, quartz is a very powerful mineral, especially when you're
Hmm.
doing anything with psychic energy, that kind of thing. So I've heard people refer to it as almost like a psychic tape recorder if there's been a lot of trauma or a lot of instances with certain
Right.
things that it could cause some sort of psychic imprint. Also, we don't know what happens to the human mind when it's put under stresses like Alzheimer's. If someone is in a
I'll let
coma
you
or
know in
in a
20 years.
sedation state. Yeah.
It's strong in my family.
but you understand where I'm saying we don't know some of the things is because especially in dementia patients they regress sometimes into like younger states of mind, so it could be something like that. It could be somebody that is mentally disabled and they have the mind of a child, so they see themselves as a child, so maybe the haunting looks like a child. Some entities I don't think necessarily are a good thing can use the open communications that we provide by certain entities. They'll use certain shapes and sizes to try to get our attention and keep it. And I just think our brain is very powerful, and sometimes we manifest the energy in such a way that that's the only way they can communicate is in that specific image. So there's a whole bunch of theories out there and questions, but it's fun to talk about.
There is.
I could talk about that stuff for hours. But getting back on to you guys, I can talk about the supernatural and the paranormal all night. That's my
Oh
bread
yeah,
and
I
butter.
love it.
So
I
can
love
she.
it. Yes.
I know baseball.
I don't. Well, I used to play softball when I was younger. I was actually an athlete in high school.
There you go.
But yeah, I my neighbors were more the baseball fans, but I just kind of said I was so I could play. But yeah,
Being from
he's
Virginia, right? That's where you grew up.
No, I grew up in the mountains of Appalachia. I grew up in a
Okay.
very small town on top of a mountain. It's called Mount Storm, West Virginia, is where I grew up.
Okay.
And I live in the Appalachian Mountains now, just a different part of them.
Nice.
But yeah, I grew up with all the, don't whistle after dark, don't, scream your
I hate
name if
whistling,
somebody
period.
knocked.
I hate whistling. Period. I don't like it. I'm 100%. I believe in a lot of that stuff that the Appalachian people have come up with. Rules for living your life.
What is
yes.
whistling?
Oh no, you're calling something.
You're not
am I
supposed
calling?
to. Yeah.
Like at night?
The
or like
things
at-
that are in the
Ever.
woods. Yeah.
Not even during the
Ever.
day?
Ever. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to whistle in the woods because that's how you draw attention because
Something might answer you.
nothing
back,
else
and it's not a
whistles.
bird.
I'm not gonna. That is true. Nothing else does whistle. You're right.
Right?
You are right.
Yeah, Renee says that
Half
they're
Gypsy
half
and
gypsy and
Cajun.
Cajun, so she
I
knows.
was born in
like,
Louisiana.
So, and they have their own superstitions. So it's like everybody, I think the Appalachians are so interesting because if you look at a map, when we were in, what is it called? Pantasia? Not Pantasia.
Pangea?
When we were all, Pangea. I couldn't think of the
There you
word.
go.
Come up with my own. ADHD. When we
There
were all one great continent before we broke up, if you take your finger and you put it on the Appalachian Mountains, even though that they were a lot bigger, they were giant, freaking enormous, and you put your finger on it and you watch everything break up, the Appalachians stay exactly where they are. They elongate and they stretch and they get worn down over time, but they stay exactly where they are.
Nice.
So it is I feel like one of the most ancient places in in the United States because, and it's such a melting pot of people here.
Well, there's
because
a
you have
crazy amount of things that happen in there. Mountain people are a different breed in the beginning, anyways.
Woohoo! Yeah.
There's something. You guys are built stronger. I don't. You guys are the future, I think. But yeah, it's. There's so many miles of undiscovered territory out there. You can't possibly cover it all, and there's got to be something. Bigfoot's out there. Sasquatch is out there. He's out there. The dog man is out
Chupacabra?
there. That's my.
Well, I think.
Down south.
Well, the Mexican border, the chupacabra can be seen in some of the southern states close to the Mexican
Where
border.
we're at.
But I think like I said, the mind's a powerful thing, and like
Belief.
we don't know what we are just by thinking it up and the belief.
Belief,
It's
yeah.
just like how many people, like we know for a fact that the Slender Man was a fake thing. Somebody created it and made some pictures and they put it online and it became like a phenomenon. But there has been actual sightings after that of the Slender Man. It's like, how do you see a fake thing? Well, it's the same thing. Like, I was just talking about this on the podcast not too long ago. Like, if I took a rock or a playing card or whatever, and I got enough people to believe in it, that it has some sort of hoodoo, voodoo, mystical, ghosty, entity attached to it, eventually shit's going to happen. Things are going to happen because enough people believe in it and they're putting that energy into that. Almost like an ideology. Like it's an idol, and that they're giving their energy. Yeah, they're giving their energy to it, so it has to go out somewhere. Yeah. And if everybody's saying, "Oh, this thing does this thing," then it's going to do that thing because it's got to go somewhere.
The supernatural calls it a tulpa.
Yeah, tulpa. A tulpa. Renee says so many unknown things there, and I don't think that we will know what all they are either. An endangered species or extinct. Exactly. When getting back to the cryptid, I think humans have a habit of thinking they're the smartest thing in the world, and I don't necessarily think that's true. It's an ego problem. We created time, we created money, we created all this stuff that we really don't need.
Yeah.
But we feel like we have to have. And in doing so, like, who knows what we don't know? We've only scratched the surface when it comes to the ocean and the Amazon. Like, even though, like, we've destroyed so much of it, we don't know what could be there. And there's so many places in the world. Appalachians are one of them. We can't be every inch square foot of space to know what's actually in there. We don't know what defense mechanisms they've created. We're constantly finding giant spiders and creatures that we've thought,
Yes, new species and everything like that. It's amazing how that happens when we've supposedly conquered everything. We haven't.
Yeah, exactly, Renee. Yeah, endangered species are extinct. And,
Yes.
Now we're even starting to mess with, the DNA and talking about bringing mammoths back and dodo birds and things like that. So it's like
12 movies. There's like 12 movies that explain why we should not do this.
If it's gonna happen,
right?
it's gonna happen.
It's the same thing with the AI. Like how growing up in the 90s, we all watched Terminator.
Exactly.
And Terminator 2.
Why are we doing
I had an
this?
Edward Furlong issue there for a while when I was in high school. I don't want to talk about it. I wore out my VHS tape because I would come home every day and watch that movie over again. It was awful. But anyway, we watched this stuff growing up, and we're still stupid enough and have the ego enough to build these things that can think for themselves. And we think that we are so smart that we can control it.
Yes.
We can't even control the traffic that causes congestion. How are we going to control something that's smarter than us?
Me. So how in the hell is he going to figure
Right?
out AI?
Right? Yeah, Renee, it's the same as the oceans too. Yeah, because there's so much we just don't know, and we love to tinker with shit we don't understand to figure it out. Which I applaud people that do, but there are some things. Like the Hadron Collider is another one. We don't know when we're messing with these subatomic particles because we don't even know how they work. Yet alone smashing them together and see what happens.
Or tearing them apart, or creating little mini wormholes inside of a.
I mean, everything we know about it is literally something we've just made up, just to say, "Yep, that works."
Just stop.
That's what it is.
Just stop. I mean, I'm.
And don't get me started on the Mandela effect. I could give you 100 of those. I'm telling you.
Crazy. The 3-eye atlas thing, all of that, it's just all insane. Everything's crazy.
Yeah, the world is a crazy place right now, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. We talked, and I got on tangents, and I'm so sorry. Would you guys like to tell people where to get your art, where to get your books, where to get your soaps and your salves and things like that?
Well, you can find us. We have a Facebook page. It's Travelin Foulks. We also have the Facebook page Folk and Around, which is I started doing some podcasts and stuff like that. I am terrible at keeping up with them because I am always so busy. We'll be hopefully getting back to those soon, but I highly doubt it. But definitely,
someday I'll do my own.
Definitely follow us on
it's fun.
Facebook. Yes, definitely follow us on Facebook, Travelin Foulks, and then we also have an Instagram, Travelin Foulk Arts, and what else? We have a website. You can find all of our arts on our creative website, travelinfolkarts.com.
Awesome. And you go to a lot of conventions. Is there anything that's upcoming that you want to give a shout out to that you're going to or interested in? Maybe they'll contact you.
We are going to Christmas to Dismember.
Christmas to
Nice.
Dismember.
It's a one-day event.
It's in Mesa.
Yep.
And it's literally get your horror shit before Christmas stuff. Sorry, network.
You're fine.
Sorry,
Facebook.
Right. Sorry, YouTube. It's a horror.
Sorry, YouTube.
A one-day convention, pre-Christmas shopping for your horror fanatic, and then we don't have another one scheduled. I haven't paid for Band Monster yet, so I'm not sure.
There'll be something in January.
We're gonna look for some. We're trying to find all these different conventions that we can go to that are relatively close. We're trying to stay relatively close in Arizona. but as of right now, we don't have anything scheduled for January. But you can always find us. I am on Facebook and reachable on Facebook, or Instagram. You can message us. Yeah, we're definitely.
Nice. Now, Renee asked, were you at the Rock Island Expo in the first
No,
October?
where is that?
Rock
We would love to be there.
Island,
I'll tell you
maybe
that.
New York.
We would have enjoyed it, but no, we
As-
were.
Oh yeah.
no.
If you have the opportunity, check out MainCon. That was a lot of fun. December, you dismember.
It would have been so much better if it was December to Dismember, but it's happening in November,
Yeah.
so it's Christmas
Ah, gotcha.
to
Yeah,
Dismember.
I'm actually
It's
the
such a cool name,
15th. Yeah, the 15th. I'm going to be doing the Naughty and Nice Crumpus Christmas thing,
Oh.
and I think it's in Barraville with Snarly. So
Okay.
that'll be fun.
one of
I'm
these
excited
days
about
we're-
that.
Well, we're really hoping that we can get an RV. Once we can get an RV, we can come out to the East Coast.
Oh, Rock
and
Island,
do all-
Illinois.
Oh yeah, I saw that. No, we haven't come out. Yeah.
Oh my Lanta! I love
Oh,
that
my
phrase. That's oh my Lanta.
It's a
But
Christmas in November, and yeah, it's good times. This will be our first
yeah, I
time going to
usually.
this.
Yeah, I've got I've got the conference bug, or not the convention bug. Like I went to MainCon, I'm like, I love this. This is cool. I get to meet all these people, and people
Yeah,
like
we
want to
enjoy
talk
it.
to me and do things. Like that's cool. Let's do this.
Then you make little friends with the other vendors.
Right?
Other vendors.
Exactly.
I made friends with Julian Richings, who was Death in Supernatural.
Oh, nice.
Got pictures with
Yeah,
him,
I saw
got
your
him-
pictures. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god, I would love to meet him. I'm so jealous. He just seems like such a cool
amazing.
guy.
He is. He really is. Smiled the whole time. Was there from start to finish.
Start
Never
to
left
finish.
early.
Even on the last day, he's
Yeah.
there. Even his assistant people are gone, and he's still sitting
And he's
there,
still sitting there,
being friendly,
Aw.
having a blast,
smiling at everybody.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
Another person that I just made friends with was Alex Zahari. Zahara.
Okay.
He was the uncle that got ran over by the lawnmower in Final Destination Bloodlines.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
And his on-screen wife was also there. Sweet as pie. Her name's April. She's awesome. And then I made friends
Scout.
with Scout Taylor. Is it Scout Taylor Compton?
Mm-hmm.
She's got 3 names. She's adorable. Absolutely love her. She's such a sweet lady. And then there was one of the girls from I don't know if you've seen the Terrifier 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so when they're in the clown cafe and he starts shooting everything up, the blonde-haired woman that was in there with a beanie on, her name's Carrie, and she was there, and I made friends with her.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, she's a lovely lady, and just a lot of other people.
But yeah, we enjoy the.
We have
convention
so
people.
much fun.
The
we have so
vendors.
much.
Well, I didn't
actors.
realize, like, I talked to a lot of people online, and it was my first time when I went to MainCon to actually, like, go to something like that. And I was so shocked at how many people, like, I actually knew. Like, I was like, oh my God, like, I didn't know
Yeah.
you were going to be here. Oh my gosh, it's so cool to finally meet you in person. Like, I've
Yeah.
talked to you for years online.
Yes.
And it was cool to see people, like, you wouldn't think. At least for me, would know who the heck I was from Adam and Eve,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? And they're like, oh my God, like, you're here, give me a hug. And I was like, ah! You know? Because the one that got me was, like, Patty and April, like, because I feel like they're pretty big names in the psychic world. And they're just like, oh my God, give me a hug. Oh, you're doing a podcast? Let's do that. Like, I need to get a
That is
hold of
so
Patty,
cool.
but... It was really cool. Like I've got the bug. I definitely want to do more next year. I just got to figure out. I've signed up for 2,
Okay.
so eventually I'll keep expanding. I got to get the book done. I got to have more stuff than just the podcast, which I adore.
There's not enough hours in the day.
Right, exactly, most definitely. We did have a couple. I want to wrap up with comments. Renee said that's the only one that they've had a booth ever. I can't wait to go to the conference and meet some people on social media. Yeah, that's what's really fun too. Yeah, most definitely. I've met so many people that I hope to make friends like Chip Coffee. Yeah, well, I don't think Chip does a lot of conventions anymore because of his health.
Yeah, his health has gone downhill,
which is unfortunate.
Very quickly. Yeah,
like it goes up and down.
You, man.
Yeah, Chip, we're love and light, brother. Love and light.
Yep.
I went on as the first reporter for RNN. I was so scared of all these big name people until Steve from Taps told me to breathe. That's awesome, Renee. Renee is one of our founders.
Yeah, they put their pants on the same way as you do, Renee. Don't let them intimidate
exactly
you.
That's the one thing that I've always had this philosophy is just to be yourself. And everybody's a human being, everybody makes mistakes, everybody's goofy in their own way, they're a person, so just talk to them as a person and give them the respect. And I forget, I live in the moment, and I guess that's a Gen X bad thing. Plus I'm a photo dodger by heart from high school. So I did all these activities, and I'm in very little photographs of the groups because I would be like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, you're not gonna get
I'm out.
evidence that I was there.
Exactly. So it's like I've learned to dodge photographs, so I don't think about cameras. So when I meet people, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so cool to connect with you and talk and have a conversation. I'm so in that moment, I always forget to take pictures.
You have that memory, though. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's what matters most. But yeah, Renee is one of the founding members of the RNN network, which is who basically takes care of me when it comes to, I'm a part of that network. So I support and love you, Renee. And my love and light to your husband. I know he's very sick right now. So
I hope he feels better.
Just to throw something, she does click on Renee's profile. She does have a GoFundMe to help with her husband's medical bills. Just want to mention that. I just realized they don't know who I am. I'm so dumb. No, Renee, you're fine. I just thought I'd explain what you were talking about. Renee's been doing this stuff for a very long time, so she's a good one. She's a good bean. I hate to do it because the conversation has been so great. Hugs. I love you so much. Love you too. We're all love and light there at RNN. So, but I hate to do it, guys, but we got to get it closed because I know you've got to go to bed. We're in about 10 minutes over. I love conversation. I love to stay, but I know everybody's got their own time. And thank you again for your time.
Absolutely. More than happy to come back.
Thank you.
Awesome. I want to do another one where I spotlight authors. But I got to get everything together to do the pitch with the network. But I'd like to do something where I'm actually reading some of everybody's book because I like to narrate. I like to tell stories.
Oh, just
and I
let
like
me know
to just
and I'll
kind of
send you
spotlight.
one.
Okay. I just want to spotlight some books and read, maybe have 2 or 3 episodes where I'm just reading the book, but I won't finish the book, so people have a need to go purchase
have a reason
it to
to go
it.
get it.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I'll bring the author on and we'll do an author recap and talk about what we've read and, maybe inspirations and stuff like that. So I may be contacting you later about that if you're interested.
Okay.
But beyond that, I just want to tell everybody, as always, thank you for watching. I do appreciate you, every single one of you that tune in. Make sure you check out the Travelin Foulks on their YouTube channel, their Facebook page, the group page. Go check out The Six Souls by J.L. Foulk. And all her mini books, her detective mystery ghosty type things. And again, thank you again and sweet dreams. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye. I gotta find the video.